The basement door slams shut behind 17-year-old Sarah, and she realizes her father's twister control has become her living nightmare. Trapped in concrete darkness with no way out, she must fight to survive years and years of unimaginable horror. But even in the deepest despair, the human spirit refuses to be broken. This is based on true story. This tale centers on Sarah, a spirited teenager yearning for independence. When she requests permission to attend a friend's party one evening, both her father, Don, and mother deny her request. Feeling rebellious and frustrated, Sarah defies them by secretly leaving the house with her friend Christopher to attend the gathering anyway. Upon discovering her absence, her parents are furious, particularly Don. The following morning brings a heated confrontation when Sarah returns. After being scolded severely by her father, she retreats to her room where she confides in her mother and sister about her plans to leave home once she reaches adulthood. She expresses her desire to live independently with a childhood friend. Unknown to Sarah, Don overhears this conversation from outside her door. Something dark shifts in his expression, and he silently makes his way to the basement where he unlocks a concealed room. From this moment forward, he patiently counts down the months until Sarah's 18th birthday. 3 months later, on the day Sarah turns 18, an opportunity presents itself. With her sister away and mother shopping, Don finds himself alone with Sarah. He requests her assistance in moving a heavy container to the basement. Trusting her father completely, she agrees to help. However, upon reaching the basement, Don reveals a hidden chamber Sarah had never known existed. Before she can process what's happening, he forcibly pushes her inside and secures the door, ignoring her desperate cries for help. Trapped within the windowless space, Sarah frantically searches for escape routes. Her attempts to pick the lock with a hairpin prove futile. When the electrical power fails, taking the ventilation system with it, she opens the box they had carried downstairs. To her horror, she discovers it contains survival supplies, specifically chosen for her. This revelation confirms that her imprisonment was premeditated. Her attempts to call for help through a small air vent are quickly thwarted when Dawn seals it, rendering the room completely soundproof. Meanwhile, her mother grows increasingly concerned upstairs, though Dawn maintains an unnaturally calm facade. Sarah's attempts to escape continue over the following days. Each time Dawn visits, she tries different tactics, including physical confrontation, but the basement door remains locked as well. Dawn presents her with an ultimatum: complete obedience in exchange for eventual freedom. When Sarah refuses, he responds with threats and psychological manipulation, causing her physical and mental state to deteriorate rapidly. Within a week, law enforcement begins investigating Sarah's disappearance. Dawn fabricates a story that she left voluntarily to live independently, exactly as she had always claimed she would. While her mother expresses disbelief, the police suggest waiting to see if Sarah makes contact. Christopher also visits, seeking information about his friend, and receives the same false explanation from Dawn. On what should have been a celebration of Sarah's freedom, her 18th birthday, Dawn brings cake and candles to her prison. Hoping compliance might earn her release, Sarah participates in this twisted ritual. When offered a wish, she naturally requests freedom, which Dawn denies. As alternatives, she asks for a timepiece and television, which he provides. However, Sarah secretly prepares a makeshift weapon from food packaging. When she attempts to use it, Dawn detects her intentions and responds with extreme brutality, breaking her hand and ensuring another year passes in captivity. Time becomes Sarah's enemy as she endures pregnancy and gives birth to a daughter while imprisoned. Dawn shows complete indifference to the child. 4 years pass, with Sarah's mother continuing to grieve her missing daughter, while Dawn tells his wife about the job promotion. When his wife suggests hiring a private investigator, Dawn firmly refuses. The television Dawn provided offers Sarah and her daughter brief respites from their monotonous existence. Sarah delivers a second child, a son, but when her daughter develops a fever, Dawn's medical assistance proves inadequate, leading to more conflicts and violence. Christopher continues his efforts to locate Sarah, speaking with her sister and sharing Dawn's story about Sarah running away with a friend. However, Sarah's sister begins sensing something amiss, suspecting Dawn might be concealing information. Sarah's third pregnancy occurs as household tensions escalate. During an argument between Dawn and his wife about Sarah, he accidentally drops the basement keys. Sarah's sister discovers them and ventures into the basement, finding suspicious items that trigger her intuition. Before she can investigate further, Dawn intervenes and removes her from the area. Following the birth of her third child, another son, Sarah pleads with Dawn to give the baby to her mother, hoping to provide at least one child with a chance at freedom. Surprisingly, Dawn agrees and abandons the infant on the doorstep with a note supposedly from Sarah asking her mother to raise the child. However, Sarah unknowingly includes a second note revealing her imprisonment. When Dawn discovers this, his rage explodes and he sexually assaults Sarah as punishment. As years progress, Sarah's older children mature within their underground prison. Dawn's disturbing intention towards Sarah's daughter fills her with terror, recognizing the same evils she endured now threatening her child. Her daughter's asthma becomes another constant worry. When rain damage creates a weak spot in the ceiling, Sarah attempts to create an escape route and signals for help using light. A witness notices, but reports it to Dawn, triggering another savage beating that results in Sarah suffering a miscarriage. Dawn secretly buries the lost child. Despite everything, Sarah maintains concern for the son living with her mother, frequently asking about his well-being. Dawn mentions the boy participating in sporting events. When her imprisoned son asks about going outside, Dawn coldly states it depends on their mother's behavior. Sarah apologizes to protect her children, though they don't understand and blame her. Eventually, she reveals the truth about Dawn's crimes to her children, devastating them. Her daughter suffers another asthma attack from the shock, and when Dawn learns of Sarah's honesty, he attacks her again. This time, her son intervenes to defend her, prompting Dawn to eliminate all electrical power to the basement. Dawn's life above ground begins crumbling. He loses his job, exhausts his savings, and faces home foreclosure. When his wife questions him, he avoids explanations. Meanwhile, Sarah works desperately to break through the ventilation system. Realizing he can no longer maintain his deception or support his prisoners, Dawn makes a horrifying decision to murder them by rigging his car to pump exhaust fumes into the basement. However, the unexpected arrival of Sarah's third child, the one raised by her mother, interrupts his plan. When Sarah's daughter experiences another severe asthma attack, Sarah convinces Dawn to seek medical attention. He agrees, but only allows Sarah and the sick child to leave, keeping her son as insurance. Stepping outside after years of imprisonment, Sarah is overwhelmed by memories of her former life and the unfamiliarity of her changed world. At the hospital, while her daughter receives critical care, Sarah refuses to complete paperwork, fearing return to captivity. She deliberately spills water on forms to delay the process. When Dawn leaves to obtain new documents, Sarah desperately embraces a female doctor, silently pleading for help. Fortune intervenes when a police officer notices the situation. The doctor and officer question Dawn, and Sarah's obvious distress provides enough evidence for an arrest. Dawn confesses to everything under interrogation. The son left in the basement is rescued immediately. Sarah's mother learns the devastating truth about her daughter's fate, but finds relief that the nightmare has finally ended. Dawn receives imprisonment, while Sarah experiences freedom for the first time in years, reuniting with her mother and sister. Her children are finally safe. In the story's conclusion, Christopher returns after waiting faithfully throughout Sarah's captivity, never marrying and maintaining hope. Together, they drive away from the house that held so much trauma, leaving the past behind as they journey toward a new beginning. The film serves as a powerful reminder that no one deserves to live in captivity or fear, that we must trust our instincts about abusive behavior, and that as a community, we have a moral obligation to believe survivors, recognize warning signs, and create safe spaces for those trapped in silence. Most importantly, it shows that hope and human dignity can never be completely destroyed, no matter how deeply they are buried.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe for more recaps. See you next time.